advise my girl or my friend to avoid such person. But I will tell you,
be careful.
Kind of sensitive conversation. Don't.
All right, let's go on a break. Let's go on a break. Just joining in, and it's a very complex conversation. It's a very heavy one, but yes, we're talking about stigmas, in particular stigmatization of people who are divorced, particularly the females. Now, WhatsApp now 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Now, there, Jude, the topic you've chosen is too complex to be discussed in an hour. No two marriages, no two divorces are the same. The stigma is right or wrong depending on why the divorce happened. I am divorced. That's why I want to remain anonymous. Please, you have a right to. My wife left because she said I was stiff and boring because I hated clubbing and she loved it. I didn't meet her in the club and I made it clear before we married. Eventually, she left because she said I didn't want her to enjoy her youth. Would you like your wife to be best friends with such a woman? 90.3 Nigeriainfo. Hello, Potako. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Mr. Court, calling from Uniport.
Welcome, Court. Go on, please.
Yeah, Jude, as a popular say that show me your friend, I will tell you who you are. Let us go out of maybe divorce. Maybe I'm a Curtis. You have a son. And every time you see your son hanging with me, a criminal like me, Jude, what advice will you give your son? Hello?
Well, listen to you. Go on. Continue, please, so I can get to that call.
Okay, that is the thing that happens. Because if you continue to go with that person, some decision that person will take, it may affect you at wrong run. Because somebody who don't have a wife cannot go and begin to judge husband and wife issues. Something lead to divorce. There's some character that fellow is exhibiting that brings that divorce. So if you continue, it may affect you. Because experts say something. What you see every day and hear have a way to affect your life. If you are not smart, if you continue to hang out with a criminal, Even if you are not a criminal, people will assume that you're a criminal. And sometimes you'll be a criminal because decision that person make every day of his life, you to see it must surely affect you. If a goat who don't eat yam begin to follow goat to eat yam, there's every possibility that other goat must learn how to eat yam. I rest my case. I am Mr. Court.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Court. Now let's quickly get to the headline news, and we'll come back because yes, I'm becoming inundated with messages, and we have to deal with as many as we can. This is the headline news. My name is Jude Omamigbe. PDP governor set to meet as stakeholders react to crises. Police arrest 2 suspected child traffickers in Rivers State. Rivers Flood Committee distributes cash, drugs, others to flood victims. In business, NCC to generate over 1 trillion naira revenue from 50% telecom tariff hike. In entertainment, singer Blackface advises Two-Face wife on divorce case. In sports, Australia to host 2027 Men's Rugby World Cup. And on the foreign scene, 19 bodies recovered after flight collision in Washington, D.C. More details of this and more will come up your way in the 12 p.m. bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808 721 7215. 0808 721 7215. My name is Jude Omamigbe. Thank you for listening and good morning.
Are you having problems listening to us via the Nigeriainfo
very many aspects to this, I understand. But once again, our focus is on the stigmatization that comes with divorce, right? And when we make mention of stigma, we're talking about, unfair treatment. Sometimes for another word, people get ostracized because you're divorced and you get left to basically the whims and caprices of anybody around. It's almost as though the good laws of a land do not protect you. So why then, particularly towards the female, is the stick heavy when it comes to divorce? Once again, I'm not saying we should encourage divorce. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm asking is, now that, people are becoming more vocal about their divorces, why should we treat them in a bad way? Now, to that message, before I open the phone lines, let me respond. That first message I read, let me get back. The person who said, my wife left because she said I was stiff, boring, because I hated clubbing and she loved it. I didn't meet her in the club and I made it clear before we married. Eventually, she left because she said I didn't want her to enjoy her youth. Would you like your wife to be best friends with such a woman? Now, there are so many reasons why people may end their marriages. But if I was to meet this lady, I wouldn't say because you are a divorcee, because I know the peculiar nature, because I have verified that you are a bad man or you're a bad woman. Since we're looking at the women, let's say the woman was really bad. Let's say she was a serial cheat. She committed adultery. Let's say she was rude. Let's say she was lazy. Let's say she was causing problems in your life. Let's say, she was one of those people that anywhere she goes, violence erupts. Let's assume she really wasn't a good person, right? Now, why should I be cautious? Is it because she's not a good person? Or is it because she's a divorcee? I'm trying to find out if we as a society know how to separate the person from the circumstance or from the scenario. Are there good men who are divorced, who are widowed? Yes. Are there good women who are in the same category? Yes. But do we judge someone because she is a divorcee? Or do we first find out if really this person is a bad person? That's where I think this conversation really is headed. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. As always, please keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, so straight off the bat here to WhatsApp. So good morning, Mr. Jude. One shouldn't lose touch with a friend that's divorced. Okay, well, first let me understand where this is headed to. All right, one should lose touch with a friend that's divorced, and if someone else does, that's understandable. Some people just want their distance because not everybody is happy that you are happy. Some divorcees, I think that's what you're trying to say, would want to drag you down to their current situation, and some people who really, who are really honest with themselves will try to move you away from that situation. So honestly, right, you can roll with your divorced friend, you can keep in touch, you could still be friends, but then you don't really have to listen to everything your friend says. All right, Okonkwo is on the line from Rumokuta. We have Legacy in a chair. Okonkwo, good morning to you, please. Hello, Okonkwo, go on. Good morning. Good morning, please.
Yes, it's a topic. That the man says, I am matured. And the woman says, I am matured. It's mine. Let us say they are my politics.
Oh dear. Okoko, I must apologize. That line's not very clear. Please call back. Legacy is speaking to us from Eche. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please.
So I'll just go straight to answering your question. Now, I have a lot of friends, well, quite a number of them, who are divorced, females and males alike. And in some cases, I've even they were in my life before the divorce happened, the arguments and all that. They're not necessarily bad people, and they may not necessarily be avoided. I mean, good people face the mishap.
Yes.
Bad people also face the mishap. And when you get to hear them out, you see reasons why, I just had to leave because the man was also, he was a tyrant, he was this and that. Christians and all that. The truth is, if you don't guard your marriage, it could become a divorce statistic, even if you're going to heaven or going to hell. Okay, so it may not even be too much about too much, but so they shouldn't necessarily be avoided. I know that there are some cases where some of them become bad influences.
Yes.
Cases where, I've had conversations with people, you have an argument with your wife, and then they are saying, why must you even be in this marriage? Why don't you just leave that woman? Why don't you just take a walk?
Because they too have left. Yes.
Yeah, there are circumstances where a lot more serious. I mean, your wife didn't greet you good morning in the morning. You were just gisting with a friend randomly. My wife didn't greet me this morning. And she's like, or he's like, why are you so neck deep into this marriage thing? Okay, I mean, you could take a walk and feel free, live your life. That's a bad influence.
That's a bad influence.
Yeah, and it happens, which is why people feel you should avoid them. You may not necessarily avoid them if you're mature. I mean, marriage has its own ups and downs, and every marriage is unique in itself. Okay, I've had a case. I met this lady who was talking about her divorce case. She's on a second marriage, and she clearly said to everyone she regrets leaving the marriage. Like, if she was as mature as she is today, she would have tried to make that first marriage work. And so she's giving everything to this second marriage, ensuring that everything works. So sometimes we're too childish and we just want to take a walk. Sometimes we're too impatient, and allow people grow. A man that marries at 23 may not be of the same reality as someone that marries at 44. Right? So allow people grow. They grow through seasons and cycles of life.
True.
Life happens to them, and then get to know better. So everyone should be given a chance.
Well, but
no two cases are exactly the same.
Legacy, let me ask you this question. So, the reason why we're talking about this is because historically, and from all the documents in front of me on my screen, shows that there is a form of stigmatization, of divorces, particularly here in Nigeria. Society, some cultures even would stop giving the woman, certain respect and honor. Now, my question, I would like for you to answer in just another minute, is this. How do we then separate the person from the circumstance? Because, like you just rightly said, so every divorce is different. Some people left because of their lives were at stake. Some people left because they didn't manage the situation very well. Some people were selfish. Some people were greedy. If I not meet any of these individuals, how am I able to tell that, Jude, don't talk to this person, because, but everybody just goes, a divorced woman, no near am, na bad person.
Well, the thing is, we get somewhat influenced by the crowd. It's like in the same scenario with an election. You don't like a candidate, but because everybody else is voting for that candidate in your community, you just have to do that, and you're not happy for another 4 years. If everyone has a mind of his own, I'm not sure they'll be unnecessarily influenced by public opinion. I like Jude for who Jude is. No matter what you say to me about Jude, I like Jude. Okay, I can access Jude. On the merit of my relationship, Jude is a good person. Whether he is this or that, whether he is single or married, whether he is divorced or separated and all that. If there's something I can do to contribute to fixing the relationship, because Jude is my friend, I'll go ahead and do that. But I will never avoid Jude just because he is separated or divorced. It's not intelligent reasoning. I mean, how much has it helped us progress as a people? So no, a member of your church is divorced, right? The person doesn't stop praying, doesn't stop coming to church, doesn't stop being accepted by God. Why should you reject that person? Because others are rejecting the person. It doesn't add up. So I don't join the bandwagon. I don't think anyone else should.
Oh, thank you very much, Legacy. Great to have you join us. Tombia Abo from Tombia is on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank you. Okay, let me personally, I would not ask my wife not to associate herself with a friend just because she's divorced. I would only do that based on the character of the person. Not because she's divorced. Because I know very well that some women, or most times a lot of women, are divorced not because it's their fault. Circumstances lead to, so many things.
Yes.
So I won't do that because the friend is divorced. I will do that because on the character of the person. And most times, why men don't like to allow their wives to associate to their friends who are divorced, mainly is because of, women are mostly moved by emotions. They are mostly moved by what they hear every day. Unlike men, that we know that yes, if we won't do this, we won't do this. We know we won't do it. But women, when they start hearing things often and often, they get attached to it. So I think which is why most men doesn't like allowing their wife to associate with their friends who are divorced. But basically it shouldn't be on the fact that the person is divorced. I think it should be on the fact that the person's character is
good to about. Okay, so very quickly, let me ask you now the major question: how would you define, from your experience as a Nigerian, how would you define the way we treat divorces in this country? If we know a woman who's, how do you think we treat them from your own standpoint?
I especially for the ladies, you understand. This is Africa. And as I said earlier, it's most times it's not because the person is bad, it's because of the circumstance that leads to the person's divorce. So how do I describe it, or how do I describe it? It's a two-way thing. So I would say it's bad or good. It depends on the person. It depends on the person who is divorced. If your character is good, people will say good. People will say good about you. People will support you. If your character is bad, if you're the one that leads to the divorce, people will say bad about you. It also applies to men, not just women. So I think that's just the whole thing.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Very appreciative of your thoughts. Good morning, please. All right. WhatsApp messages. All right. 0809-030-6416. Now, a husband that gives ultimatums is a weak man who is not worthy of the honorable title of husband. If you cannot reason with your wife, pray for her or guide her gently to consider things from your perspective, you are a failure. My husband and I don't agree on absolutely everything. But one thing he has never done is give me ultimatums. For one thing, he knows he's married to an adult, not an animal or a child. For another thing, he is usually very reasonable and agreeable. So whenever he doesn't like someone or something, I consider the possibility that I am the one who is not seeing that situation or person for what they really are. There was a divorcee I told my husband about, and the first day I mentioned her, he said, I don't trust her. Something isn't right about her story that you are telling me. I was shocked. My man is not normally judgmental of people due to their background or misfortune. So what's up? But he never told me I can't be friends with her. I don't talk to her anymore. I found out later on my own that she was into jazz. Because she lied against her ex. She claimed she was a victim of domestic violence because she knew that I would react to that. She even arranged for me to be assassinated. This story is becoming long. Oh. Hey! Oh, and the person says the story is long. I beg. My point is, I removed her from my life by myself. My husband has never given me an ultimatum about any friend or anything else. Okay, I'm going to stop there so I can read more because this is really long. What? Jude, it seems to me that divorce to a great extent happens when marriage is toxic or acidic or is in a life-threatening situation. For whatever reason, no one goes into marriage for a divorce as a result. It has its ugly and beautiful sides. To me, let the society manage it with a human face. John, wow, Google. Let society handle it with a human face. 92.3, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, all right. I don't think that person knows that the call has been answered. All right, I think we have time for just one more call, and I think I'm going to read a few messages here. All right, 0809-030-6416. Ibiso is on the line. Let's get to say hello to Ibiso. Ibiso, very quickly, how do you think, Ibiso, we treat divorced women in this country? How do you think we do it?
To me, most of us do the wrong thing. Now you see somebody that maybe she's a divorced person or so, and you start to avoid that person. What of those that are married out of wedlock? Avoid them now. We now if somebody says Jude is bad, me without getting close to Jude from far, without avoiding Jude, it's not the best way. You have to know why this thing happened. Sometimes you go closer and encourage them, but you now paint them that they are the worst human beings on earth. What of the men? So we always judge people from what we hear without listening to the other party. Listen and say, listen to the other party and look where the fault is coming from. Before you judge or you start to say, this person, I don't want to say this person something. Yes, you should be divorced. What of you? Are you living a good life? That person knows you divorced. Are you that is judging that person? Which life are you living? That is encouraging in the society. Because that thing you are doing, you are even making your children to behave like that.
Okay.
So I will not avoid the person. Rather, I will even get close to the person. If I have any advice to you guys, look to the person. Because you not just say that if everybody avoid each other, nobody will even call each other. All of us have our own.
Right? We all have our reasons why we want to avoid. Very good point. So it makes a great point. It really does. An hour is not enough for this conversation. And I know some of you are listening right now. You're probably fuming. You want to get your thoughts across, right? I understand that. But think of this as a starter. I'm not here to say, hey, because somebody is a divorcee, put them in your house and prove you love them. No. But how do you treat them? Do you treat them because they are divorced, or do you treat them because they're human beings? I feel like the man is just feeling insecure because some men have ego. So things like that could affect their fragile ego. And honestly, that's understandable. But then again, it's not enough reason to create a barricade between his wife and her divorced friend. What he should have done was to communicate his feelings to his wife and then let trust lead. Anyway, thank you for trusting us with these views of yours, sharing them on this platform. My name is Jude. Tomorrow is Friday. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope to have a great time with you. Stay safe. The sunny side of conversations comes through after the news at 12.